So again, welcome. I am honored and privileged to be here. My presentation is called Unlock Your Potential with Microsoft Office 365. So this right here is the title slide, and what we're going to be talking about today is just a general overview of the following apps. So we're going to do a summary of what Office 365 is. We're going to take a look at what Microsoft Word 365 has to offer, do a little brief demonstration of what features that it may have. Maybe you may or may not be aware of it. In addition to that, we're also going to take a look at the realms of Excel. Majority of the courses that I have commits, I have the highest numbers in the realm of Microsoft Excel. So Excel is like a widely popular training that we offer here. So I'm going to kind of just go do a brief overview and then show you some demonstrations with what you can possibly do with this application software. So I do have some tutorial files that I was able to get. Now, the resources that I'm going to use in this are coming from social media outlets. You'll be surprised, like, not only if you go onto the TikTok social media platform and look for funny videos or whatever content users are creating, I find that there's a lot of good short videos that try to you know, heighten up Microsoft Office. Like, there's videos that they do like tricks and techniques that you can learn in Excel, as well as in Outlook and Word and PowerPoint, just to name a few of those. So I did reference some of those videos, and I did include it into the slide, so we can take a look at what the social media platform is presenting, and then with respects to the tutorial, we're going to go ahead and try to do it on the screen to kind of get an idea of like what the social media video indicates and how you can apply it to perhaps maybe something that you are working on at the moment. So Microsoft Office 365, these are just some of the areas that we're going to take a look at, just understanding the history of Microsoft Office application software, an overview of the Office 365 platform, what is Office 365 if you don't know, and then how you can log in with an Office 365. And then of course it does require a two-way authenticator to ensure that when you're logging in, it's actually you, not some bot or someone in like India that's trying to hack into your account to try to you know take away your information in that route. So these applications software out there are trying to address security measures to ensure that your information or anything with regards to the software that you work with is not compromised. So one of the features that they offer is a two-way authenticator, which you can use like an email or your cellular phone number, which they can shoot you a text message of a code, or there's a Microsoft Authenticator app that you can download to your portable devices, set it up with your account, and whenever you log on, that two-way authenticator will pop up, which is going to instruct you what codes you need to put in into your mobile device that's being projected onto your screen, which once the codes are confirmed, then you'll be able to gain access into your account. So just recently, I'm kind of having issues on a personal level with some type of attempt hacking, and I don't really use much of the like bitcoins or anything like that. Years ago, a friend was trying to get me to try to invest in some program with using Coinbase. So just recently, I've come into encounter that I get these pop-ups saying that someone is trying to log on to my Coinbase account and it shows that the IP address is coming from Singapore. So that's just kind of showing you like some threats are real out there. So I went ahead and called Coinbase and canceled my account because I don't do like, Bitcoins or anything like that anymore. So just acknowledge that, yeah, threats do happen on a consistent basis, but I don't mean to scare you in that area, but just be aware with those types of measures, and please take into account what training or security measures that you need to take in order to ensure that your information on a digital platform is safe. History of Microsoft Office, or just Office itself. So, of course, Microsoft Office does have humble beginnings. Back in 1990, it was initially released with just 3 apps within Word for Windows 1, PowerPoint for Windows 2, and Excel for Windows 3. So during this time, the technology, it wasn't as rapid as it is today, but with means of what was being utilized with components and the ability to at least have some type of technological communications with a computer device and the operating system and the apps. So it was introduced in 1990. In 1990, I was 10 years old. So you can see, like at this time when I was in boarding school, we were starting to get introduced into computers in our classrooms. But before that, we were, utilizing like typewriters and all that to, at least learn how to do typing. So over the years, it has evolved significantly, and as it evolves, it has introduced to you additional applications like a database app named Access, as well as a OneNote, which you can use to take notes and keep those notes on your computer for purposes of taking a look and, I guess, evaluating like meetings, for an example. SharePoint is another service that has been introduced that can allow you to create some type of a extranet page to where you can go ahead and implement content and information and thus share it to your peers with regards to any types of files or as well information that you can use. So towards the latter end, it started to get more involved with thinking of the future of the app. So one of the features that they introduce is a subscription-based system. Around, I want to say like 15 years ago, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Adobe Creative Suites used to be like a software that you can purchase and install onto your computer and activate it with your account, with your Adobe account. But there was ways to where you can hack into those application software and crack it. When you crack it, it will give you full access to the product. In a way, like it's basically you're pirating the application. So I used to read, and wink wink nudge nudge, I used to know some people that used to do that because the Creative Cloud software was like really expensive, but they went ahead and did that. So in efforts to try to alleviate all of that, Adobe Creative Cloud ended up being created to where it became a subscription-based application software. So now, like when you want to use software like Photoshop, Illustration, Acrobat, InDesign in the realms of the Adobe products, it's going to be like you have to pay a membership. That's what segued into what 365. Once Microsoft recognized the potential of this cloud-based system, subscription system, they went ahead and initiated that type of approach as well. So now, like, you do have options to purchase the standalone license of Office 2024, which is the latest version, or you can opt to purchase it on a subscription basis. So you can pay on a monthly or a yearly base to utilize this software. And the beauty of that is that it'll allow you more apps to use on its web-based feature, as well as give you more perks, like say if there's an update that's going to happen, like a new version of Office is going to be launched, you don't have to worry about paying for it as a standalone. You can just elevate to the new version once it's been released to the public. So that's what happened, if you're not aware, back in October, when Office 2021 version, they released Office 2024. So when you see like those updates pop up around that time in fall last year, it immediately updated you, if you have the 365, to the new version, which is Office 2024. So that's kind of like what they indicated with regards to the 365 subscription base. So if you don't know, what that particular entails, this is just kind of emphasizing the changes and the evolution of Microsoft Office from back in 1990 to what it is currently, with these devices that we're utilizing for our clerical work initiatives with what we do. So as I mentioned before, the history of it, and I don't know if you guys are like within the same age range as I am, but when I started using this software was during the time when Office 97 came out. So this was the time like I was at the latter end of my high school year, and we were starting to get adequate to working with computer application software and computers. So back in that time, like 1997, 98, I think that's when Windows 98 came out. So in addition with Windows 98, we got to work with Office 97. So as you can see, as the years progressed, the versions of the application software also did change. And the more it has changed, it went ahead and modified it and enhanced it to make it a bit more feasible and user friendly for users to immediately grasp on the application software and use it to whatever task that they're working on, with regards to what they offer. So this is just going from the timeline up to 2007, and then of course we have 2010, 2013 to 2016, then version 2019, and then of course Office 2021, and then moving on to the latest version, which is Office 2024. So this here just emphasized, in my perspective, much appreciation with working with this software since 1997 and how it evolves. And I can really distinguish the difference from the versions of the past on to now. And sometimes when I do my training, I always compared what we had to resort then to what capabilities it has now. And when I do emphasize that, I do have express my appreciation with these application softwares that we use. Maybe to some people it may not make a difference, but if you had to go to so many measures to at least get a simple task that you do now, comparing it to what you do then yeah, it may be simple, but understanding the magnitude of approaches and techniques to try to get that, I really do have a keen sense of appreciation with these softwares that we use out there, because granted, it makes my job relatively easy with regards to what tasks and I'm being assigned, or even keeping record with what I do here at Staff Development Training Department. So if Boss Lady asks what's your numbers or what's your data report, I can instantly pull it up because I already have it set based on how much I invested my time, patience, and efforts into this application software, which then I can go ahead and deliver that information on instant. So, I really do, hold this to a high regard, if you can tell. So Office 365, again, it's a collection of app services that can be easily accessed to a use of web-based browser and also can be accessed with mobile devices out there. So if you have a smartphone or a tablet, if you have an Office 365 account, you can conveniently gain access to those apps as well. So previous versions that we've been used was known as a business productivity suites, which is still in existence to this day. But a lot of the users are encouraging to go ahead and try to convert to the 365, only for the simple basis that it's kind of like a cloud-based app feature. So the beauty of that is, you probably still have the instance of saving your files on a physical, like, peripheral of a flash drive or an external hard drive, or even on your local computer internal hard drive. But with the cloud-based feature, you have the options to upload your files to your OneDrive account, which is Microsoft's cloud-based feature. And if it's saved there, you don't even have to have a physical copy saved on a flash drive. You can log on to another computer that has Office 365, log on with your credentials, get in. When you go into that application and you see your file there, you can open up that file directly from OneDrive, and then you can continue to work on that file there. When you're done with it, you can save it, and then if you need to go back to your other device, you can log back on, and then you can just open up that file directly from there. So it's like you don't have to worry about your files being compromised or damaged. Like if you save it in that type of platform, it makes it a bit more convenient for you just to work with your files once you log on to your profile with 365. So that's where it says, like, working with the internet connection. That's what I really like about. And truth be told, I started to get more accustomed with this last year when I was in my graduate program at University of New Mexico, because I've never really got really invested with 365 until I started working with my classmates in various projects and presentations for our capstone. And once I started to work with 365, like, it became so easy and a convenience for me to use that with whatever I do. So this right here talks about, like, behind the scenes, there is an administrator that can be able to create your username and password to gain access to it. Or if it's personal, then that's something that you can purchase. Again, as I mentioned, it's cloud-based environment, meaning that everything is stored off-site within a server. So this our point of contact for the individuals that use that Navajo-nsn.gov email. Our point of contact in this, as the administrators, would have to be the Navajo Department of Information Technology. So again, requirements, all you need to have is just a web browser and an internet connection. You can log on to any of the web browsers that you have, go to office.com, and then log on with your credentials. When you do that, just make sure that you have that two-way authenticator set. So when you are in the midst of logging on, it's going to require you to put in that passcode to gain access to your account. So that's just to confirm that it is you that is trying to gain access to your account. So the dashboard here, if you log on to a web browser, and this is just a screenshot of what I have within my dashboard with office.com. So if I were to log on hypothetically, like going here, I can go to office.com on the web browser, log on. It's probably already going to log me on because I've been on. See, it says trying to sign in. Hopefully it doesn't fail me. My password, pop it in. See, this is what I'm talking about, the two-way authenticator. So you see it's giving me a number. I do have that on my phone here, which you can see Oh, hold on here. Right here, see, I have it's asking me to put in that two-way authenticator. So what the phone is telling me, or what the screen is telling me to put in, is that number. So I'm going to put it in onto my phone. And once I put it into the phone, go ahead and just access my PIN. Once that's set, then it's going to go ahead and allow me gain access into my into my profile here. Oh yeah, you love my Ninja Turtle keyboard? I got that as a birthday gift. Still trying to get used to it. So appreciate that. So this is the dashboard that you can get in. So you do have some I guess tools here. You can see my cursor on the far right or left. So if you want to go, this is your home. So anything that you uploaded or you're working with in conjunctions, like let's say with your peers, you'll have that in here. If you go to apps right here, you see apps. When you initiate that, these are the apps that are provided within my Office 365 account. So you can see we do have some apps here. If you want to use like Word Online, which means you can open up Word, and this is using the web-based online feature of it. You can use Word Online with the use of a web browser, but the only thing that I find a problem with it is that it's very limited compared to the desktop apps that you can use. But if you feel like you want to, like, type up a document with an online feature with Word, then you do have Word Online that you can take advantage of. But this is just showing you that I recognize that some of the commands in the tabs in the command group is slightly limited compared to the commands that you can use in the desktop app. So you can use online features as well. So there are some other apps that I really want to try to emphasize, but due to time constraints, I want to at least try to create another presentation that focus on some of them. Like, say for an example, if you are wanting to create like a survey and you want to distribute that out to, like, say email distribution to get some like intakes or evaluations of some sorts, they do have Microsoft Forms here, which you can use the web base for it. You can create a form step by step here, and when you create your form, you can go ahead and share that form out, like with a hyperlink, or in some instance it can allow you to do a QR code scan that you can take that image and put it on a flyer. So when you advertise your form out there, people can home in on it and take a look at your questions, and they can respond to that. In the back end of that form is going to calculate all your results for you. So if you ever get into a situation to where you want to have like a survey of some sorts, you can utilize your 365 account and take a look at your form feature there that can allow you to create that. Unfortunately, it's only with the use of the web 365 apps. This doesn't necessarily have a desktop app that you can use. And there's also other ones like a to-do list. So for those instances, like you want to create like a to-do list to kind of keep yourself informed with whatever task or projects that you're working on, you can go into to-do, and that can allow you to create that there. There's a new one that I'm trying to get familiar with. It's called Project. Is it Project? Yeah. Oh no, wait, Planner. Planner, like, say for instance, if you would like to plan like a task related and assign those tasks to other people, Planner can allow you to do that. I just recently came aware that our subscription with the Navajo-NSN was able to offer this. I believe a year ago around this time I was trying to get an example going for it, but unfortunately because it was restricted, I wasn't able to dabble into Planner. But this is something that I recognize that if anything with project management, this would be a pretty good app to use with regards to setting up, let's say, a project. You have various tasks that you want to put. You can assign those tasks to your colleagues, and then they can get that information with their 365 account. In addition, once that task is complete, they can go in here and check it to say it's complete, which then, if you're the project manager, you'll be notified with that information. So this is something that I'm trying to at least get some understanding on. So once I do, I'll be able to emphasize more about that. But yeah, you can see here, these are some of the gems that you do have with your 365 account that you can potentially use. Even with OneDrive, right here, you can upload all your files here. See, I have my presentation already saved in my OneDrive account, so I don't have to worry about taking a physical copy with me from whatever devices that I'm working on. I'm currently here residing in my residence and I'm utilizing my computer here, but if I want to continue working on this, I can go to my computer in my office, and then I can go ahead and log back on and then proceed on to continue working with my presentation directly with the use of my OneDrive account. So that's just kind of showing you what's there. And if you ever want to get the desktop apps installed onto your computer, once you log onto your OneDrive or your Office account, you can go to right here where it says install and more. You can drop that down and go to install Microsoft 365 apps. It's going to take you directly to here, which then you can go ahead and go right here and hit install Windows. So for those that have yet to be aware that you can have 365 into your computer, maybe if you have that Navajo-NSN account with your email, I would encourage you to go ahead and get in contact with the Navajo Department of Information Technology. So this is their website, which is dit.navajo-nsn.gov. They do have a really snazzy video that can do step-by-step with how you can gain access to your 365 account. So it's really well informative, I think, that you can use if you need help gaining assistance to your account. But if anything, your point of contacts are these individuals here, Natasha, Brianna, and Ashton. These are the ones that I would think you would want to get in contact with in order to see if they can activate your account if it hasn't been activated, if you have that Navajo-NSN account. But if you have other domains like NDOT has, EMS does have, I still haven't really grasped on social services new name, I think Child and Family Services or something like that. I know for a fact that you guys do have a domain different than Navajo-NSN.gov, but if you have a domain that's not within that what they have at DIT, then I'm assuming that your department head would probably have an IT section that can allow you to get 365 with them. But I can't speak for them because I don't know. But needless to say, I would encourage you to get in contact with them to see if you can get something with that. So that way it could be where you can have the updated version of Office 2024. So better are the days where we had to do procurement process and get licenses for standalone software. Now with this, DIT is fronting the bill for those that have the Navajo-NSN to go ahead and provide you these applications to use without having to purchase that for your office. Can others see your file on OneDrive? I believe the administrative people can see your files. So anything that I have in my OneDrive account considering that it's with Navajo DIT, then Navajo DIT is well aware of what files are within that because they're the administrator of this account. I believe if they assign like an administrative role for supervisors, they also can see what's in your account. But if you have it on a personal, like your personal OneDrive account, then that's basically just what you can gain access into with your own Microsoft account credentials. So for an example, for me, I have a Hotmail email that I've been using for 25 plus years, and I use that to gain access to all of my Microsoft products. So I do have a OneDrive account with my Hotmail, and I do have some files saved in there on a personal level, like pictures, documents, my resume, just in case if I need to upload those files or download those files and distribute it out, then I at least have it saved there. But if anything on a company scale, yeah, I reckon that those that do have the administrative authority over that, they can see what's in your account. So again, it just all takes into account with I guess their policies and procedures that they follow. So DIT, I reckon that they do have a policy that we all have to be in compliance with in order to utilize their services. So we're moving on, segueing to Microsoft Word 365. Let's just do an overview of the application software, what's new with this version of Office 365, and of course taking a look at the user interface, and just do some demonstrations and tricks with what you can do with Word 365. So if you don't know, Microsoft Word 365 is part of the Office User Productivity Suites that focuses on the word processing application. It's utilized in creating and editing electronic or print documents, reports, and other text-based content. It also contains a single page or multiple pages, and additionally, it can have contents of text, graphical objects, tables, and charts. It can be edited and enhanced to your own specifications. Word documents can be stored on your computer, sent as an email attachment, saved on a cloud-based feature like OneDrive, or even print to obtain a physical copy of that document. So doing some digging around and trying to find a difference between the previous version of Office Word to what is being advertised with the new versions, here are some of the features that you may or may not be aware that is currently within the new version. The Word interface has been updated to modernize start experience and refresh tabs in the ribbon. Now, before, if we go into the review tab, and if we go into proofing, we can select commands like spell check, thesaurus. What the new version of Office 365 is, what they are featuring, instead of, that does have the spell check and the grammar and all that, but they are kind of positioning it into what they call the editor pane now. So the editor pane has been updated to make it easy to navigate and apply word suggestions. So what I love about the editor pane, when you are proofing your document, it's kind of giving you like a percentage score at the top. And as it starts to comb through your document to give you suggestions about potentially misspelled words or your grammar, when you go through it one area at a time, and as you get to where you're completing your revisions or your proofing, the goal is to hit to 100. And when you hit to 100%, then you know with full confidence that your document is has been revised. So for myself, I'm not really good in the realm of the English area, which I can openly admit I do have a lot of grammar issues or spelling. I'm more of the numbers kind of person. Math and all of that is my interest. Where when it comes to the writing, I kind of like is still at this point struggling with it. But I do take appreciation with what the software has to kind of assist me in those realms. So when I'm doing my editing at ease, the editor pane can at least give me some sense of encouragement that I'm actually doing something okay, that it's enough for me to get it going. So I do appreciate that feature there. You can now save pictures, charts, and other graphics from your document as a SVG, which is a scannable vector graphic format. Now, I'm in the realm of graphic technology. I do have a background and a associate's degree in graphic work. So one of the features that I really do appreciate is working with vector-based images. So if you don't know the difference between vectors and pixels, vectors use some sort of like mathematical equations in the background with images that can ensure with the vector image, if you scale it large or condense the size of it, the image is still going to stay crisp and intact. Where you do that with pixel images, depending on the resolution size, which is the little pixel boxes per inches, if you scale that, like if it has, like, say for an example 72 pixels per inch, if you increase that image, you're going to see what they refer to as pixelated image, which you can see those little boxes enhanced to try to accommodate the visual of that image. And sometimes if you try to scale up a image that is like 72 pixels, it's going to look blotchy. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. So when it comes to working with pixels image or vector based image, I would honestly prefer to work with vectors because I see how clean it can produce a lot of graphic objects that we utilize. So say for an example, this logo right here, you see how nice and crisp it is? This logo is an example of an SVG image, where if I was to use pixels, then you can really detect it with the drop shadow feature here on this word image. So Office now can allow it to be compatible enough to incorporate vector images into its repertoire. So I do appreciate that. And of course, if you opt to the Premiere package, you'll also be able to be afforded stock images and more icons to use. So it's kind of giving you some additional features that you can utilize rather than having to search on the web for those images themselves. This right here is your Microsoft Word user interface. When you initially launch a blank document, this is what you anticipate. Just some elements that you need to be, user interface elements you need to be in custom with. You do have right here your title bar, which is in position right here. Eons ago, your title bar used to be in the upper center of your application window, but they moved it to this side to where that area is going to be your search bar now. And of course, you have your quick access toolbar right here. Your quick access toolbar pretty much allows you to insert and frequently use commands that you use to try to alleviate you from having to navigate extensively to locate those commands. So it kind of acts as a beacon of a shortcut area, which you can house commands that you recognize that you use a lot. So then it can save you time to try to navigate to find that command. So quick access toolbar is usually afforded with the save and undo and redo commands there. This right here is your ribbon. I'm only going to talk about the ribbon in this instance, but the other areas I'm not going to really emphasize it because it's all been standardized with the other apps. So your ribbon is basically the area where it houses all your commands in categories of tabs and command groups. Within those command groups, it does have relatable commands that you can use. And what I really find quite distinguished utilizing the Office application is it presents its commands in the form of an icon. So if you visually can comprehend what the icon entails, then you know exactly what the command does. So when you select it and implement it into whatever task you are embarking on within your document, then it makes it a lot feasible. So I really do appreciate the iconic commands that they have with regards to their ribbon area. This is your status bar area. It's always going to be positioned at the bottom of your user interface. Status bar can provide you status information pertaining to your document. If you want to add additional status information to your document, you could just right click your status bar with your context menu to open, which then you can select whatever status information options that it has, and you can go ahead and just apply that to your status bar. But its intent is to keep you informed with any types of information pertaining to your document. So the status bar is pretty good to have to use with regards to that. And then here at the far right corner of your interface is your document view and your zoom. So if you feel like you need to zoom in to magnify your zooming, or if you need to zoom out to kind of see like smaller tiles of your document, you have that there. So these are also embedded into your view tab. So if you go to your view tab, you do see a zoom command group, and then you do see a documents view area, which then you can pick and choose what types of documents views that you want to see. So it's all been standardized within its user interface feature that you can utilize with this application software. So these are just some areas that I want to touch on. There's this one feature that I like to use. It's called Read Aloud. And I don't know if you have a microphone within your computer device, there is another feature called Dictate, which is kind of pretty neat to use, which you can verbally speak. As you're verbally speaking to your mic within your microphone, it's going to type out what you're speaking onto your document. Then I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but if you create an outline in Word, if you go and wanted to use that outline as a way to start up a PowerPoint presentation, you can go into PowerPoint, and then you can go ahead and reference that outline. And once you reference it, it's going to go ahead and create your slides for you based on your outline. So these are just some features that I just want to touch on with Word. So let me go ahead and just fire up and demonstrate Read Aloud. So I'm going to open up a document that, again, this is going back to when this is our finalized document that we submitted to our professor last year, which I was able to get my master's degree with this project. But this was our project paper, and you can see like this document is immensely long, and I take pride and I really do appreciate my classmates for being able to at least get me beyond the threshold of completing my master's degree. So this is what we created. So sometimes when I'm doing document revision, like here, I can type it out, but again, my typing is doing one thing and my brain is doing completely something different. At times I do catch myself that I end up having grammar issues. So what I can do is I can position my cursor right here where it says executive summary. You see my review tab is right here. So in my review tab, hold on here, I do have a command right here that says read aloud. Do you see that? So with my cursor positioned there, I can go ahead and just like hit read aloud.
Executive Summary. Workforce planning and development is core to the processes within organizations for better efficiency and to sustain skilled workers. This is especially true for the electrical vehicle (EV) industry, which has been boosted by law to reduce emissions and increase renewable energy. The city of Albuquerque is stepping forward into this industry and has identified the need for a robust and well-defined workforce development plan in this new and rapidly growing industry. The EV Workforce Development Plan will start with the information gathered through.
This is where you have your settings here. So if you need to change it up, like say slow down the reading speed, you can toggle this here. If you want to change the narrator's voice, you can do that.
The project team's research that
that sounds pretty slow there. Let me try it here.
Industry standards, national requirements, and sister city comparisons. The project brought about the following guide to assist in creating the city's career path in New Mexico's EV industry. Identify special training and requirements.
So if you never use this command, again, it's in your review tab, and it's right where it says speech read aloud. If you can't find it here, you see your search bar up here, yeah? So you can go to search and just type in read aloud, and it most likely will find it as best action, and you can use it there. And the tip, read aloud is also within your Microsoft Outlook email. So if you want to use like a narrator to read an email back to you, then you can utilize that feature as well. So this is just something that I know that they put in recently with the advent of like text to speech or some narrator to kind of like correspond with you in efforts to read back what you're typing. So as I mentioned before, I'm kind of like not really skilled in the levels of the English area, but I'm appreciative of tools like the read aloud that can allow me to, you know, help me with my grammar or revisions or reviews with tools or with the document that I'm working on. Your dictate is another feature to use here. So that one is located in your home tab, and in your home tab you see right here where it says voice, then you have dictate right here. So you can select dictate. Again, you do have like settings right here, and as you can see, as I'm talking, it's already typing out what I'm saying. So there may be a chance to where if you don't want to write out or type your document, you can use dictate, just as long as you have a microphone to use that can allow you for you to speak. And if you want to go to a next line, you can just say period and then enter. So it's still trying to pick up on it, but yeah, this is, see how it's just typing the whole thing out for me. So I can think of a an old supervisor from another place I used to work at. She used to try to get this software called Snapdragon, I believe it was called, and it had this capability to where you can use a microphone and speak, and then it'll go ahead and type within the realms of her document. But now I came into a discovery that Word does have that. So you can see I'm talking gibberish and it's typing that out for me. So once I'm done, I can just go ahead and click on the microphone to mute it, and then it'll stop right there. So this is just another tool to use to take into account if you just want to just like spitfire your document, or like if you're even trying to do a memorandum, instead of typing it, maybe you can try to speak it and then it'll go ahead and try to take into account what you're saying, and it'll go ahead and put it into your document. So just out of curiosity, do you guys know about these two features? Okay, fantastic. Some people do know about it. So so next, I'm going to show you a cool trick with using PowerPoint and Microsoft Word. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up a Word document here. This one right here is an outline that I created earlier. One thing that I find that's really great with Word, if you guys are not familiar with, is the usage of this styles gallery. If you don't know what styles gallery is, it's where it's already got pre-arranged formats for text. Specifically with regards to style, it's got styles of what they refer to as link styles, meaning that if you implement that style into a word or a paragraph, it's going to utilize that as a link, which you can serve to link it to another, I would say, feature. So I'm going to open up my navigation pane, which is in the View tab under Show. You see navigation pane right here. Check that box, and you can see I have a headings link, which company mission is linked as heading 1 style. You see that right there. The next one here is heading 2, which has this information here. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 1. So I have this set as a multi-level outline, utilizing just heading 1 and heading 2. So you can see how I have it broken down. So let's say, for instance, I want to reference this document, and with these headings here, create a slide for each of these areas that you can use for your PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Then I'll go ahead and close that one as well. Going to go to File and New, open up a blank presentation slide. I have that set here. So I'm going to go to my Home tab here. You see where it says Slide? Let me zoom in. Slide right here, New Slide. Drop that down. And then right here you see there's an option that says Slide from Outline. So I'm going to select that. Then it's already taken me to where I have that file saved in the folder here. So I have that, and once I hit Insert, now you're going to see it's going to go ahead and evaluate my document. And look what we have here. We have a new slide that says Company Mission, another new slide that says Team Vision, Who's Who, Services We Provide, Company Policy, Benefits, Performance Review, and of course required documents. So if I attempt to open that document again, let's see if I can. If not, then it's probably preventing me because it's linked. You can see the outline here has been created with these slides here. So maybe if you're embarking on creating a presentation, right, if you're starting to figure out where to start, it would be kind of maybe a suggestion to get it as an outline and just utilize your styles in Word as a multi-level listing, as well as just utilizing heading 1 and heading 2, and then you can just import that in to your presentation, which then you can see it's going to go ahead and create those slides for you. So you don't have to waste time, effort, and time and effort to try to do these individually. If you are able to set it up as a outline in Word, save that document, go into your presentation app, PowerPoint, new slide drop down. You see right here where it says slide from outline, and you can just reference that, select it, let it think it through. If it does it accordingly, then it'll go ahead and create your presentation slides for you. And then you can go ahead and go through the process of like adding in like a theme, and then you'll start to see like it like come up with that theme. So let's just go ahead and save this just so we can have a copy of it in a sense. So again, just out of curiosity, did you guys know you can do that? Fantastic. If you guys are saying no, then that's something of showing you that you probably didn't know exists, but now I would encourage you to try to mess around with that and see if you can get it to work. So like if your supervisor says, hey, I want you to create a presentation about our department, then if you don't want to start like every slide one at a time, best bet is just to create it as an outline, just to kind of get like a layout with what you want to do or what you want to talk about with each of your slides. And then if it's set, go to PowerPoint and just go to new slide drop down and do from outline, and they'll go ahead and try to create your outline for you, or excuse me, your presentation slides for you. So anywho, we'll go ahead and move on to Excel. Again, overview. Say spreadsheet app used to organize, analyze, and calculate data. It's allowed to use to work data with structured formats, creating tables with rows and columns. Performs a wide range of calculations using formulas and functions. Use a large collection of cells formatting to organize and manipulate data and solve mathematical functions. So I always like to emphasize with Excel in any of the Office applications is like versatility. You may come into it just doing like thinking bookkeeping, accounting stuff, but no, there's a lot of cool things you can do with this application software that maybe you can probably try to figure out, and once you do, you'll be amazed how it can make your job a lot fun and easy with the use of this. So what's new with this current version? This feature, focus cells, it will allow you to highlight your rows and columns wherever your active cell is. So if you're having trouble to locate your active cell, you can initiate focus cells, and it'll then give you the intersection in kind of like a shade color, and that'll kind of give you some visual intent to know where your active cell is located. Form integrations can allow users to sync data from Microsoft Forms directly to Excel. So again, talking about your forms, once you create a form and you get your results with your form, you can export that information into Excel and go ahead and try to create some type of like data analytics with that, or data analyze it to where you can create like a chart or any type of graphical representation pertaining to your form results. So it has that pretty snazzy integrations with it. And there is another feature. If you're tired of like typing your data every row onto your spreadsheet, you can initiate some type of a form feature, which will then create like a form window based on your header row, and you'll have the fields right next to it, which then instead of typing it on that row, it acts like a you're typing it inside of a form, and you can hit the next button after you're done to jump to the next row, and it'll go ahead and open up a blank field and so forth. So there is a feature to where you can initiate some type of a form like interface to help you incorporate in data into your workbook. Now this one I'm starting to get familiar with, but it has been in existence for a long time, but just recently in Excel 365 or 2024, they implemented the checkbox feature into your insert tab. So if you're trying to create like a spreadsheet in the realms of progression with certain tasks, you can initiate those cells in checkbox feature, which basically when you put that in, it's going to use like a true false approach. So with the true false approach, you can use that information, and you can use like logical functions like the count if or the if function to go ahead and do like some sort of a like percentage calculation. So when you check those boxes, you'll see the percentage go up till you reach to 100 when you're done. There's even where you can set a timestamp. Once it hits 100, then the timestamp can be a function that you can set to where it'll go ahead and set that to when and what time that last check was initiated with regards to hitting 100%. So these are just some new features that I'm coming in custom with the current version of Office Excel 365. So again, your user interface, if you've never worked with this, go in here. This is your quick access toolbar, your title bar. Your name box is a feature that you can use to create what they call name range, which is the ability to select a range of cells and designate that with a name, like a variable. And then if you want to revert that selection or that name range into like means of an argument of a function or formula, it's a lot better than typing in the range reference. So name ranges is something that you can use with your name box. But for people that are just wanting to know what name box is, it's a feature that you can use to recognize the active cell within your spreadsheet. Then you have right here is your formulas bar, which basically you can use, or also if you have it in your active cell, you can also like type in like whatever you're putting into that container, whether it's text, label, numbers, functions, or formula bar, or the active cell can accommodate to both of them. Eons ago, it used to just be the formulas bar. You would have to select the active cell, go to the formula bar and type in whatever you want to store in there. But now it's making it a bit more accommodating to either give you the option to use the formulas bar, or if you want to type it directly inside that active cell. This is your spreadsheet area. Fun fact, you have over 16,000 columns to use, as well as over 1 million rows to use within one spreadsheet. So you can appreciate the magnitude of scale with regards to how much data you can record within just one spreadsheet. Down here at the bottom left corner, you do have your worksheet tab. Initially, you used to be given 3 worksheets, but now they reduced it as default to 1 worksheet, which your default name is sheet 1. Then again, you do have your status bar, which gives you status information pertaining to this application software. If you right click with your status bar with your mouse, you'll open up your context menu, which then will afford you additional status options that you can apply to your status bar. And of course, at the far right corner, you do have your view and zoom options. If you guys are wondering how this is happening, like I'm zooming in, zooming out, and all that stuff, this is using the morph transition in PowerPoint. So this kind of shows that you also can do that with your presentation slides. So demonstrating, again, I'm not going to do anything original. I do go to like TikTok and YouTube a lot, and I've been starting to like type in short or like tricks and techniques with these application softwares that we use. TikTok mainly, it's kind of funny how they set it up, but once you start to see what they do, it's like, oh, this is cool, like I want to try it. So we'll go ahead and do some demonstrations. If you want to, I can upload the file onto the chat box, and you guys can download it onto your computer, open it, and if you want to follow along, that's to your own discretion. But if you want to just see it on the screen, you're more than welcome to just see it. So here's the first one. It does have sound on it, so just be aware.
Don't apply borders like a noob.
Come on, man.
Instead, try this. Select the range where you want to apply the borders. Press Alt-HLN to open conditional formatting. Now let's input equal. Pick the first cell of the range and press F4 twice. Put different than empty as the condition. Then change the formatting here, so you can add borders automatically. Otherwise, press Ctrl-T to format your range as a table, and you'll get the same result. Want my free Excel formula guide? Comment guide, and I'll send it to you.
You see that video, it's like, you look at them like, wow, they make it so easy, right? So I went ahead and like tested out, and I kind of thought that was pretty interesting. So I wanted to do a demonstration with that one. So before I open it, because if I don't share it before I open, it's not going to allow me. So let me go ahead and put it into the chat box. So hold on here. Need to change this up. Take a gander at your chat box. You should see it says demonstration number 1 or demo 1 auto borders. I do have it in the chat box now, so if you take a look at the Zoom chat box, you should see it. So you can follow along with this, and this is what I have saved in there. So this is the Excel file, and you can see it kind of mimics what the video does have. So I kind of did a little text box of like what to do. So what we're going to do, as it states, is first and foremost, we're going to select the columns B all the way up to E, so you can click and drag B to E, okay, like that. Once you select the columns within your data range, go ahead and go into your Home tab, Styles Group, Conditional Formatting right here, and go down to New Rule, which you see right here, New Rule. You're going to open up your New Rule box here, like you see, and I'm going to show you that box right here. In the select a rule type, where it says use a formula to determine which cells to format, go ahead and select that option. Then you're going to see right here it says format value. So what I'm going to do here, and let me just move this down right here. I'm going to go in here, hit the equal sign, type the equal sign. I'm going to take my cursor and select B1. But with B1, we want to do what they refer to as a mixed reference. So this right now, B1 is an absolute reference because you have $B, $1. It says to hit the F4 key twice, so 1, 2. So it should be now $B and then 1. So that we have that set as a mixed reference. Or you could just type in $B, and 1. Once you have that in there, go ahead and type in like these two dash lines, like not like less than or greater than. This is like a comparison operator that says not equal to or something like that. And then once you type that in, go ahead and hit your quotes twice. 1, 2. So this is the formula that we're going to use for our conditional formatting. So once you have that, right here where it says format, do you see that? Go ahead and click on it. It's going to open up your format cells box. Go to border, your border tab, and then select outline. What you're going to see, it's going to go ahead and put an outline, and then hit OK. And then you can see the preview, and then you can hit OK on your new form rule. Once you do that, go down to B6, type in 5, enter, 6, enter. Now notice that the border is already adding it on there for you. So you can set up a conditional formatting that when you type in a new row based on the range of columns, it's going to go ahead and accommodate to add in the border for you when you hit enter. So that's how you can set up auto borders. Or the other one it's telling you is just to select your data and then go to insert and then just create it as a table, and then you can just change the like you don't even have to have like banded rows on your table. And then when you go down to the next one, it's going to go ahead and add in that border for you. So this is just showing you how you can do auto add in auto borders within your range of data. So that's what the video implies there. Yeah, I'm if the names do offend you, I do apologize. I'm just taking off of what they gave us. So DD Oils is like an unkind reference, but that's what they have, and I'm just using it. So that's one trick you can do. And let me show you another one. Hold on, let me pull up my PowerPoint. And this one, technique number 2, let's take a look at that one.
Stop grouping data by hand.
Oh my God!
Instead, use this function. Go here and type group by. Start by selecting the range used for the grouping category. Now, let's pick the range containing the values. And finally, pick the function you want to use to group data. And that's it. If you update a number, the totals will change too.
So this one is going to introduce you how to use the group by function. So if you get into a situation where your data is going to be set to where you're trying to group categories and put like some type of a function to it, then this is the technique that you probably need to be start learning how or get more familiar with or introduced to with the group by function. So I did save this one in the chat, and you can see I already kind of have it set for you guys to with the text box and where you need to put that function in. within your data. So here we're going to go ahead and select F10, right? And we're going to put this function in there, which is right here. So go ahead and select F10, equal sign, group by, open parenthesis, and you can see down at the bottom you do have like a breadcrumb trail that's telling you what to do. The first one says row fields, so it's going to be from C10 all the way up to C29. It's giving it to me this because this is a table. Then I'm going to hit comma, and then the next one is going to be the values. You see values right here. So I'm going to go ahead and select D10 to D29, which you can see there, and then comma again. And then right now it's giving you the list of what they refer to as summary functions. The one that we want to use is sum. So go ahead and type in SUM and then close your parenthesis. And once you have your function set, just go ahead and hit enter. And then you're going to see there, it's going to take the categories of these months, group them with their values, and since we're using the sum function, it's going to calculate the sum function for you. So went ahead and took care of all of that, so we don't have to try to put these in categories and calculate them like in separate functions themselves. The group by function can accommodate that all in one function feature, which you can see it did that right there. So how cool is that? I mean, I never knew this. I've been doing things like the long way, but when I encountered this, tested out with some of my data, I was like, geez, this makes it a hell of a lot easy to do it this way than what I was working on. So if you have this one, then congratulations, I applaud you, because this is another one that I found that I can recognize that I will be using, in the near future. So I can go ahead and just save that and close it. So this one, I think I have one more for this one. Now this one here is going to be working with your
My boss was tracking progress like a noob.
Oh my god. Oh, hell.
I had to show him how to do it right. Start by selecting this range and pressing Alt-HBA to add borders to the tracker. Next, go here and press Alt-NCB to add checkboxes. Now, type this formula to calculate the progress percentage. Once done, press Alt-HAC to center a line and Alt-HLDM to add data bars. Change the color, confirm, and boom, that's it. We now have a dynamic progress tracker.
So that one, let's go ahead and take an attempt on working with that one. So I do have one more demo workbook file. I'm going to put it back in the chat. This is demo 3. It's not what the screen has, but it's something a little different. So once you have that downloaded, then I'm going to go ahead and open this one. So as you can see here, I already kind of have it set. We do have like the names. We have like, I guess, chapters 1 to 10, the progress, and the date is going to be like the date that they hit 100% or kind of like completion. So what we're going to do first, let's go ahead and add in our checkboxes. As I mentioned before, the checkboxes is a new thing that they're advertising in the insert tab. So let me show you that. So go into your insert tab here. You see it right here, checkbox. The checkbox is also implemented into your developers tab. It's kind of like a form feature that you can use. but they went ahead and put it in here in your insert tab for Office 2024. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and select the range from C6 all the way to L29. So make sure you select C6 to L29 and then just go to your insert tab, controls, and select your checkbox. And now you're going to see it's going to insert those in. So we have that set, and we can just turn on like a few of them. Like let's go turn on like just probably 4. Now next we're going to go ahead and do a function that can calculate the percentage of all of these checks. Now keep in mind the checkbox is kind of using like a true and false approach, which is what they refer with respects to logical functions. So you see I have it here, that what's need to be put in. So it says go to M6 here. We're going to use a COUNTIF function divided by a COUNTA function. So go ahead and go into M6, equal sign, COUNTIF, parenthesis, highlight the range from L6 or C6 to L6, comma, and type in the word true, TRUE, and then close the parenthesis, and we're going to divide this, so do your / with a count A. This is count the number of cells that are not empty, and then like parenthesis, again select the same range, C6 to L6, and then close that, and then hit enter. And now you're going to see it's going to give it to you in percentage. Now I already have it set, but it's the data bars is kind of wonky. I'm trying to figure that out there. So you can do like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with autofill. Autofill is, you see where I'm positioning my cursor right at the lower corner of M6. I can click and drag down, and you can see if I add these ones in. See, now you see the data bar is projecting. I don't know why this one isn't doing it. It's kind of like, I was puzzled about that this morning. But you can see like how that works. This one here, I went to like conditional formatting right here, and under the new rules I set it to where it can do like a data bar. So as the percentage starts to go up, then you can see like it starts to move up. So this one right here, the last column we want to do where it can go ahead and do a timestamp to once this gets to 100%, then it can go ahead and put in the date and time right there. So go ahead and select N6, and then go to equal sign, do an if function, parenthesis, select M6 is equals to 100%, comma, put in the now function, NOW, open close parenthesis, comma, and those that don't hit that for defaults, just do double quotes, which you can see is right here. Close that, and then you can do like control enter or enter. See, it's empty. But if I get this to 100%, notice that it does a timestamp there, which is today at 11:30. So again, I can do autofill, and then like let's say if these guys are on the verge of getting there, then you know they can go ahead and I wonder if I can do, let me do this one as a mixed reference, see if that works. and redo it. See, it's kind of like just moving, which is weird. But that's kind of showing you how you can do like a timestamp, if that works. But yeah, so this is just showing you, like if you have like a particular like task list that you have for your employees, you can create this and it can go ahead and do like that progress percentage. So that is showing you how you can do that with this example. Okay, as I mentioned before, I'm recording with a different program. So once the conclusion of this, I'm going to see if I can get to it to go ahead and convert the video to a file to where I can upload it to YouTube. And once I do, I'll go ahead and give you guys the information where to go with these. So it will be accessible. Just give me some time to get it set up to go ahead and get that ready for you guys. So again, it actually it could be with 2024, but again, if you want the checkbox, you probably have to initiate your developers tab to see if you can find a checkbox feature there and add that in. But with 2024, they went ahead and just included that in for you within your insert tab. But the checkbox command is still in existence. It's just that 2024 is the one that's advertising it. So if you don't have 2024 or the Office 365, I would, see to it that maybe if your office does have that, see if they can get it set up for you. That way you can kind of just use these with what it's providing you. So again, did you guys know that this type of stuff does exist in Excel? Okay, so let's go ahead and truck along to the next one. See if I can get as much done as I can.
My boss was...
We'll go ahead and move on to PowerPoint now. Again, overview, what's new, interface, and some demonstrations. So, PowerPoint is a presentation app that allows users to create and deliver visual presentations, typically in the form of a slideshow. Case in point, what I'm using right now is a PowerPoint presentation. It allows users to create and design individual slides, each of which can contain contents of text, images, charts, video, and other multimedia elements. Users can choose from a variety of pre-designed themes and layouts or customize their own designs to create visually appealing and engaging presentations. PowerPoint supports the inclusions of various media types, including images, videos, audios, and 3D objects to enhance presentations. Users can add transitions between slides and animations to individual elements, creating a more dynamic, engaging viewing experience. So I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing that with how my presentation has been structured. So I really love PowerPoint in the sense that it can allow me to be creative with what I'm willing to deliver within my PowerPoint presentations. So again, what's new with the latest version? I love the morph transition because it can allow you to create a dynamic transition between slides. And with learning how to use it, it can enable you to enhance some type of visual flow within your presentations. So for an example, you know, when I do the user interface, you see like a like how the screenshot of the application window, right? When it zooms in, that's a morph transition. When it moves down to another area while it's zoomed in, and then move to another area, and then segue back to the original like layout or the original image, all of that is doing it in the morph transition, because I'm able to create that as it, like, you know, transitions from one presentation slide to another. So that feature is something that, you know, I really have a great utmost appreciation that PowerPoint does allow, that has that, for me to be very creative with my presentation slides. Enhances slideshow recording. Improves in slideshow recording, allows better control over a recording process, including the ability to replay inks, and incorporates more complex animation. They did implement a record tab, and one of the features that they have is a feature called Cameo, where if you want to take like a your video recording of yourself, like with your camera shooting back at you, and you can place it within the means of your PowerPoint slide, and you can move that around. So you can do your presentation, and then you can have a little camera pointing at you, and you can position that into your presentation. So it kind of acts like you can allow to do that type of camera feed as a part of your presentation. Then of course it does have access to a wide variety of stock images, including stock media, including images, videos, directly within the use of PowerPoint. So again, this is morphing. And this is why I love it. I'm showing you here just a general user interface of PowerPoint. When I set the morph, it's going to zoom in. Then it's going to show like the callouts with the quick access toolbar and the toolbar or title bar. So again, self-explanatory, these are positioned there. Here you have your thumbnail pane, which will basically have the slides that you have within your presentation, and then whatever is the active slide in your thumbnail pane in your presentation slide area, this is where you're going to see, and that's where you basically are going to go to modify the slides that you have within your PowerPoint presentation. You also have a status bar. Again, I will always emphasize that because it's always good to keep informed what's going on into your presentation file. So it can tell you the number of slides you have, what slide that you're currently on. If you want to go ahead and add additional status information pertaining to this app, you can right click the status bar to open up the context menu, which then you can go ahead and select whatever options it allows you with regards to that. Your zoom and view options are right here. And then you also have a note pane, which you can see right here, that you can initiate. If you by some chance want to type notes or talking points within the realms of that particular slide, you can do so in your note pane. So when that happens, when you're running your PowerPoint slide, if you have it set to presentation mode, you can see your notes being implemented into that as your PowerPoint is being projected with whatever video outlet that you have, whether it's a TV or a projector. So the note pane is kind of a good tool to have to input in good talking points to ensure that you're staying on course with your presentation rather than having to deviate from it. So it's pretty good to use that as well. And then just showing back the user interface. So again, demos, going back to our good buddies at YouTube and TikTok. And here's the first one.
Let's start by drawing this shape and make 3 copies like this. Now draw a rectangle on this side of the slide. Select these 2 and then go to the Shape Format tab, and in the Merge Shapes section, choose Union. From the menu, draw this shape. Select all the content, right-click Format Object. In this window, add a center shadow to them and increase the blur to 100. Change each shape's color and add this section's information. Select both of them and by pressing Ctrl-G group them. Repeat this for the other parts. Now select all the groups and add fly-in animation to them. Change the direction to from left and increase the duration to 2 seconds and you are done. Save this video and follow me for more tutorials.
So if you're paying attention, this is basically the template that I use for this presentation that I'm showing you. So I did I'm referencing that because I kind of thought that was pretty simple and easy to do. Let's see here. It is, I don't know if I have time to help you guys with it, but let me just put it in the chat and you guys can probably take a look at that as an example. So it is being in the chat now. So this is what I created at 5:30 this morning because I wanted to make sure it works. So this is what the template is, and if you go to slideshow and run it, see, look, see, it created it. So I created this morning. So basically what it's telling you to do here is, I'm going to open up a blank slide and just change the layout to no or blank layout. Go to my shape box, insert shape, and select, let's see, which one was it? This one right here. And it's telling me to drag it out like this, create one. Let me move that here. And then Control D is to create a duplicate, which you do, and then just move the second one there. Control D to create your third one, move that there. Let me just kind of squish it like that. And then Control D, one more to create, which you can move that here, which is your fourth one. Now what you can do is, we're going to get in another shape. So go to Insert and then Shape here and select your rectangle, and then just drag that one to where it overlaps this one here. So you have 2 shapes right here. You can do Control or select one shape and hold down your Shift and then select the second shape, which you have both of them now. And then in your Shape Format tab, oh, hold on, you have there a command that says merge shape. You see that right there, merge shape. Drop that down and select union, which is going to merge those 2 shapes into one. So you have that set there. So we don't have to put in the text yet, but I just want to show you guys this one. Then what it's telling us to do now is go ahead and go back to your insert and go to shape, and then select this one right here under basic shapes, what looks like a window, and then just have it overlap over. You can go ahead and hit this yellow dot to kind of decrease the scale. You see that right here? And then change that color to, I'm going to change it to white, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and select all these and just remove the outline. And then I can go ahead and change the color of each of the shapes, and I can do like a, let's say let's do this one, that color. Keep this one, this color, I'm just randomly selecting colors and then do this one. So once I have that, I can go ahead and do like select them and then just see if I can do like a gradient. So go back to shape fill, more gradient, which is going to open this here. Let's select my first one here and then just do like a gradient to where, let's go with that one. Select this one. I'm just going to change it to the gradient. I already used that color. Let me try it, the green one. So now then this one I'm just going to remove the background because I don't need it, or not the background, the outline. Select all the shapes and then go to Effect, Shadow, Preset, and do this one here, Center, and then change that one to like 100%, it says. And deselect. I'm going to go ahead and reselect this one and change this one to just that one there, so it can have that inner. And let me go ahead and just blur it and distance it. Right here is good. Okay, so now I have this set. I can put my text into these ones, which I don't have time, so I'm just going to select all three of the diagonals here and then go to animation and then select fly in, but I'm going to change that to left, which you see it went ahead and did that. And then I'm going to change the duration time to 2 seconds when I preview it. See how it starts to do it like slow? Let me go and change that to 175. There you go. See how that works? And the last one, if you want to add like a little bounce to it, go back to your animation pane up here, and then like with these 4 still selected, go to effects option, then down in your fly in you do see where it says bounce. You can change that to 7 seconds, and then when you run it, see how it does that little bounce at the end. So if we want to test this, we can do slideshow. See, you were able to create that, and then you can go ahead and just put in that your text boxes and group them. So that is showing you basically the base of my presentation slide as I reference this this method here with regards to my opening. I also have another technique. Unfortunately, was kind of hoping to do.
Here's an awesome PowerPoint presentation that will impress all who see it. In PowerPoint, add 3 or more empty slides. Now add an image as background on all slides. Use different images for each slide. Next, insert a rectangle with rounded corners and drag it so it almost covers the image. Now change the color of the rectangle and remove the outline. Add the rectangle to the other slides. Insert an icon and make the icon large. Place it on one side of the rectangle. With the icon selected, click Convert to Shape. Now hold Control and click the rectangle to have both the icon and the rectangle selected. Go to Shape Format and click Combine. This will leave a cutout of the icon. Change the color of the rectangle and make it more transparent. Now do the same with different icons for the rest of the slides. Add some text to the slides, then select all of them and go to the Transition tab. Here, select the Rotate Transition. These are the results. You can find all of the presentation templates I've showcased on TikTok for free through the link in my bio.
See that one, wish I could had more time, but let me just go ahead and download or show you that what I created this morning. So venture into your chat box. It's downloaded. Again, this method, I went ahead and created a template for it. And this one I referenced the background of our great Navajo Nation. So you can see here it's Winter Rock. The second slide is Canyon de Chelly. And then this one would be Monument Valley. So this one, of course, I wanted to try to emphasize that tourism, you know, the roads. Same with this one with our scenic view. So if there was going to be like a economical tourism or something, and then this one would be with our agriculture. So that's the reason why I selected these icons. So I had this set this morning just to kind of show you how you can use this method. So if I run the slideshow, take a look at it, the first one. Oh, see, it rotates. And then when I hit the second one, it changes the background and it rotates to this one. Then if I select the third one, so that one was the one that I went ahead and created this morning just to kind of test it out. So this is just kind of showing you, and of course I do put this in the chat feature. If you want to just take a look at how to do it, and I might have to just reference these videos, you know, somehow to you guys. I don't know, see how large my presentation file is. Hold on. Let me see here. If it's a large file, I might have to just yeah, it's 41%, 41. If you guys can, what do you call that? If you guys can download 50 megabytes, I mean, I could just give the presentation give you guys the presentation at the end of the session, but it's going to be a large file. That's the only thing. So the last one I wanted to do, and this one was kind of pretty cool. I'll show you.
If your PowerPoint is ugly, do this. First, draw this shape and then set its diameter to 9. Adjust it like this, then drag these yellow dots to change its angle. Repeat this for the other parts and then change each shape's color. Add some text boxes and type the numbers and details. Duplicate the slide, and then on the first slide, drag all the text boxes to the outside. Rotate each shape like this, then drag them down. At the end, select the second slide and add morph transition to it. The link to download all the templates is in the bio.
See, this is something I was kind of hoping to get to, but due to time constraints, I won't be able to. But again, that's showing you with the capabilities of the morph feature. So that's kind of why I emphasize that morphing is a pretty neat transition feature that you can probably get yourself you know, familiarized with. In addition to that, with the training that I do offer with the PowerPoint Part 2 Advanced, we do touch on morphing, but because the courseware is a bit outdated, it's not to where it's what you're seeing now on the screen. So again, there's references out there that you can take advantage of. Like, I'm going to go to YouTube. Pardon what you see here, because this is just based on my history. See right here, you have this presentation.
Hello, ladies and
they can give you like some pretty cool tips to take advantage of to test out and use. And I did have one for like shorts here, short videos. Oh, not that one, but let me go to my history, and where was it? I do have like some, like this one right here for an example.
Select the text box and type your titles in the slide. Now select the rectangle and cover the first section with it. Change its color and remove its outline. Open the Format Shape window and add a drop shadow in this direction. Reduce its size and increase its distance. Now type your number, select both of them, and by pressing Ctrl-G group them. Repeat this for the other parts. Draw a rectangle on this side, change its color, and type your main title. Select the first group, add the line animation and change its direction to the left. Let's increase the animation's path. Use the animation painter and apply it to the other groups, and you are done. The link to download all the templates is in the bio.
So you can create something like this, like a critical infographic for like maybe
Select the text
your
box and
at the beginning of your presentation, and it's this guy right here. Let me go to his page. Let me copy and put it in the chat box, the URL address. So take a look at this guy's page. He's got a lot of pretty cool like techniques to try to test out and use. So if you want to enhance your presentation, I would really encourage you to try to challenge yourself to do something as snazzy as this here. Because, you know, one of these days, if I do encounter one of you guys' presentation that will like flip my wig, so to speak, I would like, you know, be really impressed with your creativity. But this is just showing you the tip of the iceberg of what potentials lies with the use of these application software. So in conclusion, just to kind of give an overview, this is what we did. We did an overview of 365, looked at some resources to find what's out there and what to try. Of course, you know, talking about our department here, so we do offer trainings from the realms of the computer technology to first aid, CPR, AED training, as well as progressive training with Vera Hyatt. So, and every now and then we do some like sessions with culture, and those some that you'll see advertised out there that you can take advantage of and at least sit into what we have to offer within within our community. And of course, if you do have the Navajo-nsn.gov email, I would encourage you to get in contact with DIT to see if they can get you set up with your Office 365 account. If you don't have that domain, then I would strongly advise you to look into your department's IT and find out if that's something that you guys can get, because you do recognize that it can be an investment. And with the trainings that we offer, we do show you presentations, and we do give you a student manual to reference by and do tutorials. But that's just our position, is providing you a presentation. The application and feedback goes between yourself as well as your supervisor or your peers. And more as you two work together with application and feedback, then you'll start to enhance your proficiency levels with these applications. So it may seem daunting, but the more and more you get, or the more you compromise with it and you start to find ways to get a lot of tasks that you recognize you've done the long way, done so quickly, I can assure you that it will increase your proficiency level and your confidence will enhance. So again, thank you for taking time for watching this presentation, and I'll see to it that whatever I have recorded, I'll go ahead and get it out there to you guys so you guys can utilize this information. So again, thank you and God bless.